I started my week with two perfumes. Basically, I was wearing both of these on Saturday morning. Reason being that you won't have seen it yet. I don't think it's gone up yet. But I did a little JLo haul, and I got a few of the different glow perfumes to test out, see how I felt about them. And one of them was Blue Glow, and I liked it, and I was like, oh, I really like this. And then I thought, okay. So it really reminds me of something that I already have and love. It was in my top 20 for life, which is Guess Dare. I love Guess Dare. Guess Dare is like kumquat and white flowers and musk. It's super pretty. It has a really kind of specific scent that I also think smells a little bit like Aqua, Colonia, Starfruit and white flowers. And so although when I made the video for Blue Glow, I was like, I love it, I'm gonna keep it. What I started to realise was that because I love Guess Dare, and I have the 50ml bottle and the backup bottle of that, I don't need two other perfumes that smell very much like that same perfume. So I wanted to wear these to see if they were different enough to keep, or whether I could declutter them, basically, because trust me, I need to do a big declutter because I haven't got any space. I need to actually declutter things that I like, that I would normally keep if I didn't have so many perfumes. So I tried both Starfruit and White Flowers and Blue Glow, and I can say they both smell very similar to each other and to Guess Dare. So the notes for Starfruit and White Flowers literally just note Starfruit and White Flowers. I would say it has like a vibe of mock orange, which it totally does, and that's the same with Guess Dare. There's something about, I think that one has maybe like pear blossom and jasmine and stuff, and there's something about those mixed with the fruits that gives it a really nice kind of bush full of Philadelphia's vibe. And for some reason the Blue Glow does as well. So I think in here there's probably all kinds of flowers. I definitely can sense a little bit of jasmine. And Starfruit is such a beautiful kind of watery, exotic fruit smell. Now Blue Glow has top notes of mangosteen and orange, middle notes of watery notes, water lily, orchid and tincture of rose, base notes of oak, moss, sandalwood, Virginia cedar, mahogany and tonka bean. So it smells so similar to both Starfruit and White Flowers and a less musky version of Guess Dare. But it has like a creamy sweetness in the deep dry down, which comes from that tonka bean, and it's super pretty, and I really like it, and I would happily recommend it. And I'd recommend this one as well. But I think that realistically, because if I want this scent profile, I'm probably going to go for Guess Dare nowadays. I'm probably going to declutter both of these, which is crazy for me because I love Starfruit and White Flowers. I do love this Blue Glow. I think it's delicious. But again, I've got 100 mils of the Guess Dare, and it's just such an easy wear. I just don't need three perfumes that smell so similar. So anyway, yeah, that's I'll chuck this one into the mix just so people can see it in the video. So yeah, those all are very, very similar perfumes to me, but this is the one that I think is just so easy. They all probably, I mean, this one actually lasts a really long time for an Aqua Colonia. It's equal to any eau de toilette. The Blue Glow is quite light, and so again, this is an eau de toilette. I think they all are relatively similar in how long they last, so that wasn't really a factor. On Sunday, I'm excited to talk about this one. So, a little story. This one has just come back into my collection quite recently. Ultraviolet by Paco Rabanne. Now, I hadn't really thought about this for quite a long time, but I had this literally when it first came out. So this was released in 1999. I would have been 17, I think, 18ish. My math is terrible. So anyway, before I was 20, in my late teen years. And it was a massive advertising campaign. It was super funky. It was really unusual. And I'd always liked the smell of violets. My grandmother always used to have a little violet bush in her kitchen. And I love the smell of violets. But I did kind of I had connotations that they were for old people, or at least that kind of perfume smell. And Ultraviolet came out. It was totally for younger people. It was super funky. It was a really weird bottle. It was a weird presentation. And in fact, I will try to find. I could only find this on eBay, but if you can see, originally it used to come in this really weird kind of plastic holder, like a case, that meant you could easily put it on your desk. And firstly, it was protected from the light, but it looked like a weird little spaceship inside a hanger, you know. And also it means it doesn't roll around everywhere, because if I take the bottle out, it's a very cool bottle. But as with a lot of funky bottles, not the easiest thing to store safely. And to be honest, not the easiest thing to spray. In terms of the sprayer on this, it comes out like a stream rather than a mist, which is very annoying. But as you can see, it's kind of cool. It's got writing on the inside, so you can see what's going on. I was actually just telling Claire Smith on her Penhaligon's video that I used to love Penhaligon's Violetta. I used to go and smell that when I was at university, and I would always think, oh, when I'm in my 40s, which I am now, I'll probably start wearing that, because that's when like a violet scent, you know, becomes like kind of suitable for age, which is a very childish way to think about things, especially because I had this when I was so young, and I thought it was amazing, and it is amazing. I think this is possibly the queen of modern violet perfumes, and it's not modern, that's the thing, but it still smells modern. So if I give this a spray, in the box. Okay, so it is very violety, it's powdery, but also juicy, because it's like violet and apricot. So firstly, if you like incredibly sweet perfumes, this is going to probably be too sharp for you, as I think realistically quite a lot of violet perfumes probably will be, you know. I'm just going to try and see if that gets any brighter. It's very dark. So this one is fascinating in the note structure, and you can kind of get a little hint of everything that's going on here. So the note structure is top notes of pepper, orange pepper. I'm never sure about Fragrantica when it has certain notes. It's like orange pepper, I wonder what that actually is. Pimento, apricot, coriander, fresh almond, Brazilian rosewood, violet, middle notes, violet, Japanese osmanthus, rose and jasmine, base notes, vanilla, amber, patchouli and cedar. I don't get lots of cedar. I can't really sense any patchouli. There is a slight warmth and a very slight sweetness, but less from the vanilla and more, I'd say, from like a kind of that fresh almond, you know, because it's not... It has that nose tingly vibe that violet perfumes tend to, but it also has a slight almondy, powdery sweetness. But you can definitely get apricot, because there is a fruitiness here, and you can definitely get that pimento. I think the pepper makes it a bit warm. And the coriander, I don't know if I'd recognise it as coriander, but if I really concentrate, I can tell that there is some kind of chili pepper vibe going on here. But it's subtle. But yeah, I mean, in terms of violet perfumes, this is absolutely a masterpiece. Like, it's no wonder that it's still being made and sold. It's incredible. Like, Ultraviolet is amazing. So I'm really happy to have this one back in my collection. I think it's delicious. I wore it all Sunday. The only thing I'd say with this, it doesn't need to be oversprayed. You do not need to overspray this. If you overspray it, the violet is going to get really hardcore. So, I mean, the violet's just going to get, it will get much more kind of sharp and nose tingly if you massively overspray it. You don't need to. It's quite light at first, but the more it warms up on your skin, the stronger it gets. So I think this is like a moderate scent bubble and like a moderate projection. It's pretty magical. I'm quite excited to have that one back. And I was on a bit of a violet kick. So on Monday to work, I knew I was going to have to wear this one again. Another absolutely beautiful violet perfume, but it's like a violet and anise, a violet and licorice, you know. It's in this particular one, because this is Lolita Lempicka Mon Premier, not the original lid, because this is a tester bottle. You can still get these massive tester bottles from Direct Cosmetics for about £30. So yeah, it's a lot of cherry in this. It's very sweet. I was in a very sweet mood this week. I still kind of am in a very sweet mood because it has been snowing in the UK. So it's got very cold again. It's got really like windy and chilly and just generally a bit unpleasant, to be honest. So the notes in Mon Premier by Lolita Lempicka, which is often just called Lolita Lempicka Eau de Parfum, not to be mixed up with Le Parfum, which, if you watched my last video with those two in where I had the tester cards, the Le Parfum is less cherry, not quite as sweet, more like the very original Lolita Lempicka, and it's in a different bottle. The other thing I was going to say is they did actually have this bottle with an EDP, but it was called Lolita Lempicka Original, and it has original written on it. And that one had patchouli in it, so it wasn't the same scent as the original. But I've never seen that anywhere for sale, so I think it must have been a very, very brief period. So I think you're safe if you get a bottle of Lolita Lempicka Parfum, or EDP that is in the original bottle in any way, shape or form. It's going to be what you're looking for, or as close as you can get to what you're looking for. It's going to be the original kind of vibe. This one is very similar. I'm totally happy to wear this one, as much as I'd like a bottle of the Le Parfum, the 2021 version. I don't really need it while I've got this because they are so similar in the general feel. This one has more cherry, it's a bit more sugary sweet, but it still retains enough of that anise and licorice and that kind of vibe. It's just got more praline, more cherry. So the notes here: top notes cherry, star anise and ivy, middle notes licorice, violet, orris and amaryllis, base notes praline, vanilla, tonka bean, musk and vetiver. It's absolutely delicious. It's super girly, it's really sweet, it's like super easy to wear and super yummy and not too challenging, while also being a little bit more interesting than some of the more generic sweet smells. It's like just so lush. I love it. I love violet perfumes. I love cherry. I really like the star anise and licorice going on here. I think it's really interesting, but very, very, very easy to wear. So yeah, I just highly recommend it. I think it's absolutely delicious. And considering how fussy I am, it's like super sweet for me, but I am so digging sweet things this week. I don't know why. So on Wednesday, this must be Tuesday. Monday, Tuesday, just fancied Katy Perry's Indi. Don't need to talk about this too long. I love this. I wear it a lot. Oh, Jesus Jones, so good. It's just so good. It smells so good. It's a creamy musk and sandalwood perfume that to me and on me smells a bit coconutty. And when other people wear it, also smells coconutty, because on Thursday I had dinner with my beloved friend who I gave a bottle of this to. She's the one who has the Van Cleef & Arpels that I think smells really similar to this, so I gave her a bottle of this, and that's what she was wearing, and I could tell. She sat down and it was this beautiful waft of Indi. It's a really good perfume. It's really noticeable, but it's not overwhelming, if you see what I mean. So top notes of plum, white tea and bergamot, middle notes of white cedar extract, lily of the valley and cyclamen, base notes of musk, white musk, black musk, Egyptian musk, island musk, tonka bean and amber. So yeah, there's a lot of notes. There's a lot of musk. It's really delicious. It's creamy. It's comforting. It's super easy to wear. I think it probably smells really nice to everyone around you, but it, like I said, it's not like, oh my god, that perfume's so strong. It's just pretty. It's just so pretty. I love Indi. I really love Indi. So what I didn't wear Indi on the day I was meeting my friend, because I knew there was a possibility she would be wearing it. Because I love her enough to share some of my almost signature scents with her. And this is definitely almost one of my signature scents, which I think might happen with this because I'm obsessed with it. We went back to Lolita Lempicka, so I thought, I'm meeting her. It was snowing, it was raining, it was cold, it was like horrible wind. It was literally blowing this tiny snowflakes directly into my face. I had a massive coat on, a mask, a massive hood. It was still freezing. So time to shine. So I went for LolitaLand because LolitaLand is just so intensely sweet. It's just sort of the perfect thing to wear on such a sweet day, on such a cold day even. I don't think it will lighten up too much, but there we go. I have actually got a little light on here, but I'm never sure that, like, sometimes it just doesn't seem to work very well. There's so many notes in LolitaLand. I'll read them out, but I think it smells how it smells. So top notes: Bellini, Italian mandarin, orange, pepper, grapefruit, lemon and lime. So all the citruses. Middle notes: white peach, plum, blackcurrant, jasmine sandbag, jasmine, magnolia and rose. Base notes: Madagascar, vanilla, licorice, benzoin, white musk and sandalwood. And I've said it when I first tried it and when I've worn it since. It smells like a warm, spiced cake with very, very sweet, but slightly tangy apricot jam and custard. That's just what it's just crazy. It's very gourmand. I think there's probably enough going on in here that it doesn't smell like a literal interpretation of food, but it's just very yummy and scrummy and pretty, and so I figured I'll wear that one, and I did, and it was lovely. And then I made a mistake. Now, you'll probably understand what I mean when I say I made a mistake, because if you look at everything I've been wearing, I don't really entirely know what possessed me to then wear this next one that I did on Thursday. It was snowing. It was very cold. I thought I want something cozy, and I was looking at my Jade Goody ones, the new ones, and then I thought, oh well, maybe I'll just wear this other one because I haven't worn it for ages, and they kind of have similarities. See, I'm smelling it today, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty. But so I wore Adam Levine to work. This is Adam Levine for her. Now, this is a perfume that I normally quite like. I like it indoors at home, definitely. I find it quite comforting. But I hated this on Thursday. And I think part of the reason I hated it is because I have been wearing very sweet, very girly, kind of fruity, or at least very creamy, like just very sweet scents. This is a spicy, woody scent with vanilla in it. So it does have a creamy sweetness, but it's quite spicy and vintage smelling. It has like a modern version of Obsession vibes to it, if you see what I mean. So it still has that kind of mature or old-fashioned perfume vibe to it in a way. And that was not my mood this week. I shouldn't have put it on. I also massively oversprayed it because I was going into work. And I think when I wear it at home, I probably don't spray a huge amount, and I don't spray it on my clothes. I tend to put it on my skin because often when I'm at home, I will change my perfume throughout the day. I might like put something on in the morning and then change it in the evening. And so I don't put it on my clothes because I want it to wear off on my skin so I can wear something else later. And that's quite often how I feel. But yeah, this was on my clothes and it was too strong, it was too woody, it was too spicy, it was too like vintage smelling for me on Thursday. So yeah, I mean, this is like I've said before, certain times of the month I like certain things. I should have paid attention to the fact that clearly what I was craving this week was quite girly and very sweet perfumes. And that is not what Adam Levine Her is. So I'll read you the notes. Top notes are spices, marigold, saffron and citrus. Middle notes Australian sandalwood, Indian jasmine and rose. Base notes vanilla and benzoin. So for me, this is a spicy sandalwood with vanilla, quite a lot of vanilla in the dry down, and a little bit of quite a lot of marigold as I think the main floral. But yeah, if I was going to wear a marigold perfume this week, I should have worn my Vera Wang marigold and gardenia, because that one has like a kind of candied sweetness to it. This was just the wrong decision. And so I did not reapply it from my little decant when I was at work, and I didn't enjoy it, and it was driving me slightly insane. So I think, again, like I've said before, whenever I've tried to wear this one out of the house, I don't like it as much. I just seem to like it much better when I'm at home. I don't know. I still totally recommend it. I'm not like planning on getting rid of it. It was the wrong time to wear it. It just so happens I didn't enjoy it this time. But yeah, so it was a bit unfortunate. Let's put these big boys over here out the way. And then, so then we've got, let's do some rearranging so this looks a bit better. Too many bottles, too much stuff. Lots of awkward shapes. So then I learnt my lesson, and on Friday I wore another super girly, really sweet one. This is Festival Night by Hollister. This is the one with the cool lid that twists down to reveal the sprayer. This is a berry and marshmallow perfume. It's super powdery in a marshmallowy way. It's very sweet. It's super girly. So the notes in this one: top notes coconut, mandarin orange, pink freesia, middle notes blackcurrant, orchid, apple blossom, base notes marshmallow, vanilla and amber. And I think really the blackcurrant and the marshmallow are the main things here. You do get, I think, maybe a bit of freesia coming through, maybe a bit of apple blossom, but I'm not entirely sure. It smells massively coconutty, but very sweet, very girly, super like marshmallowy. It's really cute. I like this perfume. That was a safe bet. I wore that all day. I didn't change it in the evening, and yeah, it was just very sweet and very tasty. So yes, so that was my week. I only had the one big misstep, to be honest, and I think I'm just having like a week where I feel a bit fussy about things. Like I've been sniffing things and going, oh, I don't like that. Things that I normally really like. I don't want to wear it. So I'm obviously in a very, very sweet and girly mood. I'm wearing something incredibly sweet today, which I'll talk about in the next one of these videos. But yeah, so I don't know if I'll still be feeling that the whole of next week. We'll see. But I've definitely been digging the kind of violets and the really, really sweet fruits, you know, and the kind of creamy sweetness. So yeah, so that was my week. One bad day, and then the rest of them were pretty delicious. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. If you like violet, I definitely suggest trying Paco Rabanne Ultraviolet, and the same for Lolita Lempicka. I'd say if you don't like really sweet and syrupy things, then this won't be for you, but this one might. I think it's just such an interesting, but also, I don't know, it's like a modern classic, man. Like I'm so happy to have it back in my collection because I loved that when I was younger. I'm pretty sure I got through a whole bottle. I don't know why I never rebought it. Although it is possible that by the time I'd got through this one, I mean, it used to take me ages to get through perfumes because I had like quite a few quite strong ones. But yeah, it might have just been that I'd found my signature scent by the time I'd finished this one. And so when I was wearing Labelle's de Ricci Liberty Fizz, I just didn't really have very many other perfumes. So yeah, but yeah, it's been a really fun week.